Everybody's going to stand for just a moment, both feet on the floor. Just drop anything that you might be holding. Your hands are going to be at the sides of your body, palms facing forward, fingertips spread nice and wide. Let your eyes fall gently closed. And take a deep breath in through the nose, let the belly swell. Exhale out through the mouth with a sigh. We'll do that 2 more times. Deep breath all the way in. Exhale out with a sigh. Last one. Big breath in. This time hold it for just a second. And then exhale with a sigh. All right. Look at those fingers. Blink open your eyes. And have a seat.
Thank you. Let's just give a nice transition. I mean, this information that we're sharing is very emotionally weighed. And I know there are many questions that didn't get answered, and there maybe women want to speak that didn't get a chance to speak up. And again, we're here, if you want to do, speak with us more. But switching gears, everybody take out a pen. I gave you a just for fun sheet.
I have some pens that we're going to need. Yeah.
Come on.
Does everyone have a self-survey?
It's a self-survey just for fun. Just for fun.
So for the survey, this is just you and you. This is not a group activity. There's 9 questions, or actually 9 statements, and you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1 being that you completely disagree with the statement, 5 being that you absolutely 100% agree with it, 2 and 3 being someplace in the middle. So just take a couple moments to go through. Don't think too hard about it. Typically the first number that you give yourself is the most accurate. It's the one that you really, really are connecting with.
And don't read the bottom portion.
Yeah, don't read the bottom portion just yet. We'll
Not
go over
yet.
that together.
We'll go over that. We're almost done.
Number 6.
I would neither
Missing order.
I would neither give up the real me nor make others hard to accept. Okay. The way that I would give up the real me nor make others hard to accept.
Me.
Me is the word missing.
Me is the word missing.
The word on the end. So it should, number 6 should read, I would neither give up the real me nor make others hard to accept me.
Make it harder
Make
for
it
others to accept me.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
There you go. It's okay. Has everyone had a chance to go through the 9? Okay. So I'm going to go over the section at the bottom of the page, but before I do that, just to give you a little bit more about what this is, what the intention of this exercise is to help you identify where you are on the spectrum of authenticity. A lot of times people use the word, I'm living my most authentic life, I'm being my most authentic self, authenticity is one of my core values, and that's great. Authenticity, like a lot of other things, has a spectrum, and it goes from distorted authenticity to egocentric authenticity, and then right in the center is the balance authenticity, and that's what I believe most of us are seeking or hoping to be perceived that way by others. So each set, there's 3 sets of questions in this group of 9. The top 3 are representing distorted authenticity. And what that means is that you give up your feelings, or you sacrifice your feelings for the feelings of others, which means you're putting yourself second. The second set of 3, questions 4 through 6, represent balanced authenticity, which is the ability to express yourself while also taking the views and needs of others into account. So you're seeing you and you're seeing them, but you're seeing them equally. And then the last set of 3, questions 7 through 9, represent egocentric authenticity, which is the tendency to place value on expressing yourself even though you might hurt or offend other people. So that's putting you before everyone, which is really, even in a sense, putting you before you. You know, there's a way to express yourself, to connect with yourself, to stand in your truth, to be who you are without, for lack of better words, shitting on anybody else. You know what I mean? And sometimes when people use the terms, I'm just being my authentic self, I'm just speaking my truth, it's coming from a place of, and so what if it makes you feel bad? Or so what if it hurts you? And that's not authenticity. That's not the authenticity that we want to embody. So the reason why Dr. Tanya included this exercise is to give you an opportunity as we, move out of this space to really check in with yourself. You can do this survey a couple of times. You can do it this weekend, come back to it in a month and see if you score yourself the same way. Come back to it 3 months later and see if you score yourself the same way. And hopefully, depending on how much time you're spending with yourself, really introspective reflection, you'll be moving towards that space of balance, authenticity. And there might be days or times where you float a little more to the ego or float a little more to the sacrificial, but give yourself permission to at least move in the direction of getting to a balanced place and staying there.
And remember, this is not, when I speak of relationships, the first relationship is with yourself. You have to be authentic to who you are for real. The next relationship is the relationship that you have with many others, not just your partners. Relationship with your friends, your work, your children, your partners to be, someone outside of who you. So that's what this is relating to, all relationships. Because the way we act, like I said in the beginning, the way we treat ourselves is generally the way we expect to be treated in the relationship, or the way we accept being treated in a relationship, but we expect something different, okay? Yeah. You want to get anything in there?
So we have about 10 minutes left before we wrap up. Does anybody have any, I'm sure everybody has questions of some kind, but does anybody have a pressing question that you'd like to ask of the 3 of us, and we're happy to answer?
And it could be, like I said, what you said before, a question for any of us regarding our own lives, or something pertaining to you and your life that you would like advice or feedback on. So anything, I don't know.
Okay.
I've struggled my whole life with relationships. My primary struggle is with my mother, and how we relate together. And the problem is that I followed her role, how she expressed herself in relationship to my father. And hers was a relationship where she sacrificed positive thing with that was also reinforced by going to church and religion saying that he was sacrificed for others. And so then the expectation was for me as the youngest, or as the only daughter, her constant was like, you should put yourself second, you should not me look after the men in the family, not in those words, but in her actions. And I struggled with that.
So how did that make you feel? You struggle with it because it makes you feel like what?
I'm not important, and I resent her for it as well. I resent myself when I conform to that.
Exactly.
And it comes out in my relationships because then I follow that pattern with my relationships where I always put my partner first, and then the resentment comes with myself as well as with my partner because I put their needs before mine, and then when they then don't see me or they make decisions, where one partner decided that they were just going to move, I moved from 200 miles to be with them, and they decided they wanted to move somewhere else, but they didn't speak to me about it. But then I set up that.
You set up the
I
pattern.
set up that pattern where, because there was a red flag before that, I set up that pattern where they did think about what I wanted, because they just assumed that I would go along with whatever they wanted. So,
But for the sake of time,
yeah, I just wanted to break it.
for the sake of time, that's loaded, and I don't want you to think I'm devaluing it for you, but it's very, very, very common. It's one of the most common things that come into my office. And it can be transgenerational, it can be intergenerational. Until you learn to do something different, you respond the way you've been taught. We're social creatures, so we learn that way. That's what some of this workshops are about, is how to find yourself in that, because you're questioning it. And that says it's a sacrifice and it doesn't feel good, and you need something different so you can live and feel alive. Okay? You can't answer it here in this place, but by you having that thought says you're ready for change. And I would just simply say, see me, talk to one of these ladies here, or talk to somebody, because it's possible to have a full life and bring a full self to your relationships, and stop bringing that same you into the next relationship looking for something different. Because it's not going to happen until you address those things that you were taught. You have to unlearn sometimes. And so that's where you are now. You need to unlearn some things. The things that work, keep them. The things that's not working, are you struggling with them? See what's in them that's causing you to struggle and address that thing. Answer your deficit. And when you answer your deficit, then that closes the gap and you're able to continue to grow. So respond to what it is that you're feeling that's the deficit, okay? And outside of that, I say process with somebody that can help you process, okay? And I see people all over the world, so we can talk. Someone else?
So I had posed a question to the program where we were talking about.
Can you speak up a teeny bit?
Oh, we were talking about you sacrificing yourself, and I was saying that I kind of have the opposite thing going on. Like I love like my and me time. So when you're dating someone and it gets to a certain point, you're like, whoa. And then, so I was wanting to see how people transition to that next level.
Okay. I think I was speaking to you a little bit about that in the group. Her experience is where folks sacrifice themselves too much in relationship. She's saying that she don't sacrifice herself or compromise that much, because if it feels like she has to give up something, even if she's getting something in return, it still can feel too much and too overwhelming for her. And I invite her to do the same thing. First, talk to somebody to help you understand where is that coming from inside of you. It has absolutely nothing to do with the person that you're with. It's all yours. It's something that someone gave to you that it didn't belong to you in the beginning, but you took it on and you owned it. So now that's your way of protecting yourself from giving up too much, okay? So what you have to do is, again, address that deficit in you, Why does it feel like you gotta hold tight to yourself like this? And if you give up too much of me, you're gonna lose all of me. And then you can start working from there to release, just bits at a time. You don't have to do it all at once, but just bits at a time. Because somewhere in your life, something was taken away from you and make you feel like you had to give up too much of or didn't get enough. Okay? It could be birth position, it could be a lot of things. But something made you feel like you had to hold on. Okay?
I just wanted to piggyback on that, and I know Dr. Tanya's probably going to answer a lot of your questions with the same thing, which is you need to talk to somebody to be able to process your stuff. And I appreciate that though, because the common denominator in all of your relationships is you. And you can go through umpteen different partners looking for the perfect match. But if you haven't done any work internally or changed, in any way, or released your attachments to some of your programming around what relationships are supposed to look like, what they're supposed to feel like, how you're supposed to function, and start to really get clear on what's real for you, then you're just stuck in that cycle. And there's no perfect match for someone who's still broken, except another broken person. So it's getting clear, getting to the bottom, getting to the root of why is this so important to me? Why do I need this nurturing or this soothing? Why do I feel so rigid about my routines that I'm unwilling to alter them? Why do I feel that a person has to be or look a certain way? What are those things really coming from? Because they're all internal. And the beauty of relationships is that your partner's your mirror. They're only showing you. So as much as you want to be like, oh, she, it's like, no, me, me. You know what I mean? And you're doing the same thing for them. So it's a beautiful dance once you start it and once you learn it. And the more that you're coming from a truly authentic, balanced authenticity space, then you're naturally going to attract another balanced, authentic partner. That's just how the universe works.
And I want to say thank you to everyone in here for coming and sharing yourselves with us. I don't take anything you say, do, or your being here for granted. It's an honor for me to sit here before you because we are all a mirror reflection of each other. I want you to fill out the survey if you can before you leave and leave it on the table. It's very, very important for Blue that we fill these out, and so we can continue to have such informative workshops. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Again, thank you. Give yourselves a hand.
Thank you.
And let's give Blue a hand for letting us do this. If you want me to do something like this again next year, or follow up to this next year. No, you gotta keep it. This is yours. This is yours. I know, but I don't know who you are. You have to bring it to me. Yeah, but you have to bring it to me. You can sit down and talk about it. But you hand it to me. I'm not gonna throw that thing to be down in the ocean somewhere. I can hold on my own papers. Okay.
Thank you for doing this.